That's an important question, in particular for us in the Alliance, who are learning and on a learning curve in terms of relief and development, and for us in specific in the area in which we're working, micro-development. One of the first lessons I think that we have learned is not to depend on our own ingenuity. God gives us plans and gives us great ideas. And in our case, I believe God gave us an incredible plan for micro-development, economic development in the country in which we're working. And we started really well. Things went very well. And we saw that the plan was an excellent plan. But I think over time we became so confident in our plan that we forgot that it was really the Lord who had given us that plan, and that He was the one that was going to ensure that it would succeed. And so quickly, as we were confronted with several hurricanes, and then later with some diseases that affected the pigs and other animals, we were losing participants in our projects. And very quickly we found that they were losing motivation in the plan. And it was at that point we realized that we had forgotten God. And we needed to pray and ask not only for His protection, but also that He would grant us wisdom in all of these different challenging situations. And so realized the need to set up a prayer network amongst the participants, that they would be aware of one another and the struggles and the issues that they were working through, and to be able to pray for one another. And also the leadership, just to be able to pray and ask God on an ongoing basis to give us direction. So and that was a lesson for me that I had to learn through almost coming to a point of burnout, as the plan seemed to be failing and I didn't have the answers. And I learned a hard lesson, that it's God who gives the plan and it's God who makes that plan succeed. That was our first lesson. The second lesson that we've learned through doing micro-development is that whatever plan we bring in the end, has to be owned by the nationals. If they don't own it, in the end, that plan won't succeed either. And what that means is that we have to be free to allow them to adapt the plan to their context, according to their understanding of their situation. And that's when we really began to see success that tied in with the prayer. As I invited some of the nationals to participate with me in the leadership, those who had been successful in their micro-development projects and seemed to be also gifted in helping others, invited them to travel with me, to consult, and then to add their ideas to the plan as it began to change and adapt to the culture. And that has been exciting to see. And in particular, some of the ideas of how to rescue participants that have gone through some hard times and have almost lost their projects. How do we deal with those situations? And so we had to be flexible in order for them to be successful. And as a result now, through our first phase of the program, we have seen through the good times and the bad times that we have a good solid base of participants that are now paying back their loans and are establishing a fund from which others will receive funding in the future. So we're just very excited about that concept, about nationals owning and being able to adapt the development to their own context and culture. And the third area that really was prompted through a conversation with one of our pastors, and that is that we set up this program primarily to support the house churches and to see them become self-supporting. So one of the key prerequisites of our participants in the development program was that they would tithe, and they were required to tithe. They would have to agree to that to be part of the projects. And as a result, we have seen now the tithing in the house churches increase significantly, and the giving to the national church. And so they're not yet totally self-supporting, but they're well on their way towards that. And that's been very exciting for us. But there's a danger too in having this micro-development remain within the confines of the church. And that is that it becomes inward-looking and focused only on their own benefit. And so we were really concerned that this did not just stay within the churches, and this particular pastor as well through the conversation with him, but that this would go beyond. And so one of the nationals, in conversation with them, we talked about ideas of how to see this program move into the community, and as a result to be a channel of the good news of Jesus Christ into the community. And so that's the phase that we're at right now. And I'm just so thankful. We have a young man named Curtis who's joined us, did some training specifically for this. And so he is now working specifically on community development through the microdevelopment program, and has begun that. We launched that in July, and very excited about this next stage of microdevelopment. And now, instead of the tithing going to the church, the new participants that will enter that are from the community, that aren't believers, their tithe, their 10%, will be going towards, in some way, helping their community. So they will come up with a project that will be to the benefit of their community. And so we're just trusting that that will open some significant doors. And we've already received some comments from some of the communities that are being impacted, and in a positive way. So that's been very exciting.